want to call the attention of Nigerians to a deadly group that has been with us for a very long time, but they've managed to operate under the guise of tribe that the rest of Nigerians has not been able to decode them.
Too much. This bill be allowed to pass second reading. The bill to choose Ooni of Ife and the Sultan of Sokoto as the only traditional rulers to represent all the traditional rulers in Nigeria or Gaza, it is calling for a total division.
See, if you are from South listening to me and listening good, you see this statement that is coming from Special Advisor to Mr. President Bayo Ononuga. This is statement of propaganda. Yes, they have been doing this for years. You see, this time around, it will not work.
They have been able to deceive Nigerians because they don't carry arms, but the weapon they carry is deadlier than arms.
What are too tribalistic? That is what I've been hearing from Nigeria after the WAFCON played by our women. But eventually they won. But in the match, I think this lady actually performed very well, and she's a Igbo lady. So for this reason, Igbo put praise on her, tagging her to be an Igbo girl. Even label her Biafra, and for that reason, people have problem with
Nigeria
this.
Many people use the hand to divide this country, Nigeria.
We reveal that while everyday Nigerians are told to tighten belts and endure economic hardship like labor pains, some state governors are signing off billions to build new luxury government houses, mansions they barely live in. Like
hello my people, and welcome once again for this hot edition of Voices of Vigilance. As usual, we don't carry better G's. We go sweet your belly come this week, from politics to social media basketball. So I beg no wakao, because the last story it goes sweet your belly well like suya for a bookie stand. Oh yes, my people, Peter Obi don't enter Edo State sharp and nothing happened. He go attend one book launch of Chief Gabriel Igbenedion, where then call The Chronicle of a Legend for Benin City on Thursday.
If we do, the celebration would have been more. Who is representing Ministry of Education here? He built the first university. Who is representing Ministry of Transport? He did the first airline. It was among the first 3 to be given banking licenses, private banking licenses. I mean that industry. So I know when they built banking industry, he did a lot in education, employing people, 17,000 people. Nigeria today, if we had been a country that is productive, over 120 million people would have been employed.
Una remember say the Edo State governor will be Monday Okpebholo. Binyan say Peter Obi no suppose enter Edo State without him permission. But Peter Obi no send them inland, come speak in mind.
But now that we have an opportunity, we have to change the way we honor people. The GCFR and GCON should be people who are entrepreneurial and productive, not us, the politicians. If they like, they can remove our own and give them, so that the country can produce and be able to employ people.
Even Adams Oshomole come deny for Arai TV say the government no mean them like that oh. But we self understand say now Oshomole na input am there, so wetin you expect? Oshomole even yan say the school of nursing where Obi visit na government school, say na why Obi suppose inform am before he go there. But one active voice come tear and ground say that one a lie. Say me that school na mission school. Say you know concern government.
I think the media try to exaggerate it. People who don't talk too much, they have to choose how they want to communicate. The essential message is clear. But let me tell you this. Right. Peter Obi was my colleague, and we know each other very well. And I liked him. I still do. But politically, we don't agree. I do not subscribe to his views in certain matters. Now, let me tell you this. On the 4th or 3rd of June, I was invited by Academic Staff Union of Universities of University of Nigeria, Nsukka, to deliver a lecture. And that's in Enugu State. I was once a governor. I'm no longer a governor. I know what the protocol is. It's not written. It's a matter of common sense and a matter of decency. But also in my Latin self-interest. I told my orderly, can you get the phone number of, can I reach the governor of Enugu State? Because I don't have his number. He said he doesn't have to go and look for it. Eventually, he was able to get the ADC. And he got the ADC, and he gave me the phone, and I spoke to the ADC. ADC, please, can you connect me with the governors? I want to speak with him. He said, it's not available. Okay. Can you help me convey a message? But I have this invite, which I have accepted to honor, and I will be coming to Enugu tomorrow or next tomorrow. I will be grateful if the Excellency is informed of my visit. Number two, I will be even more happy if he can assist me with a vehicle and to provide me with security from the airport to Usuka. There is no law in Nigeria that says I must do that. But have you been a governor, even though now no more a governor? I understand, but the governor of Enugu State need to know I am in his territory. Not that the Nigerian Constitution say I should say so. Now, let's face it. The property of Edo State government is trusted in the hand of Edo State government. Right? So, if anyone, myself inclusive, and I believe you inclusive, if I go to Enugu State or Anambra State when Obi was governor, and I want to visit a government-owned facility like a NOSI institution, it's a matter of decency and self-respect, right, to say I'll be coming, I'll be visiting not a private facility. That school is built, equipped, and owned and funded by the state government 100%. So Peter Obi's handout is not any way compared to what the government institutionally provide every year in the budget to support that institution.
Well, let me come in here.
It doesn't matter the fact that he has good intention. Yeah. But Obi as a former governor shouldn't allow that.
I understand what you mean.
So maybe what you might argue is how you interpret choice of words. Right. But the intention of Governor Monday is clear to me. Well, please, if you are coming, it's just nice that you inform me. If you ask Obi, now what I just told you now, I gave an example of myself. I'll give you an example of Obasanjo. What is wrong with Obi?
Yeah, but let me just say this. I think you've made
that's what he said.
I think you've
so when you now make it like you have to get a license.
I think you've made that point.
And so on and so forth. I don't think it is.
I see what you mean. But it is.
I remember in your station, I want you saying that the Edo State government issued a statement that what the governor implied is not to say you must take permission.
Yeah. Just for political purposes. What I was going to say.
Let me first of all start with a caveat. Comrade Adams Oshomole is, we, especially those of us from Edo North, young people who got interested in politics, consider him as our father and our mentor. I can say that Comrade Adams Oshomole is my mentor. Peter Obi is my leader, but Comrade Adams Oshomole is my political mentor. He taught us when to fight and when to negotiate. So I am putting this caveat for those who will carry this video now and go and show him that this young man, we have told you before that this young man will abuse you. This is not intended to abuse anybody or to denigrate anybody. But like I've always said, the biggest problem with political leaders are the sycophants around them. Comrade Adams is 2 times my age. Most people don't know that Comrade Adams is the same age as President Bola Ahmed Tinubu on paper. I don't know on ground. I'm not on paper. Comrade Adams Oshomole and Bola Ahmed Tinubu are age mates. The biggest problem we have are the sycophants around leaders who do not tell them the gospel truth of every situation. Look at how they have misled a 70-something-year-old man to come and make this kind of mistakes on national TV. St. Philomena is not owned by Edo State government. St. Philomena, Comrade Adams Oshomole is a Catholic. I am a Catholic. St. Philomena is owned by the Catholic Archdiocese of Benin. It is a mission hospital. And when you go there, you see it. Reverend sisters, Reverend father. In fact, the administrator is a priest. It's a Reverend father. And that is the school that Peter Gregory Obi went to support. And they told him now, misled him to believe that, I am sure, before he came on TV, he would have asked, who owns that place? They'll say Edo State government. It's not owned by Edo State government. I am happy that in the beginning you made it clear that there is no constitutional requirement for you to choose to visit anywhere. And that is what we want to stand by. Anybody can visit anywhere at any time. When Obaseki made this same evil order, placed the same evil embargo on you, that you must not come to Edo without telling him that you will need a visa to come to Edo, we all rally around and condemn it. Nothing has changed. The leader of the obedient movement must have the right. Opposition is a necessity in democracy. So Peter Obi has the right to go anywhere. As a father and a leader to the present governor, I would expect that you will call him now and say, please, you are overstepping the dictates of the law, so that he is properly guided. You all saw the video of a young man that was beaten, that was beaten in a donut. All these are product of the comments of people in leadership. If you are not APC, don't post poster. That is what you see. That is why anybody who now summons the courage to talk against government, they beat the person up. They injure the person. They attack the person. They molest the person. If you push a goat to the wall, that goat will turn back and become a lion. And that's where we are getting to now. I personally wish Governor Okpebholo well. We all do. I want Governor Okpebholo to succeed. The success of Governor Okpebholo is success for Edo State. regardless of what anybody has to say. If there's anything any of us can do to make Okpebholo succeed, we are willing to do it. But we will never succumb. We will never kowtow to a state where we don't have duplicity of ideas, we don't have multiplicity of political parties, where you are not allowed to play opposition to government. We will never succumb to it. Never, it will never happen. We are not about to have a civilian dictatorship. So, Erama, he just yome zeleke onemona New York Galo TV la ale gwe Saint Philomena does not of Benin Lemoli. Anala Limaya contribute. This is your movement. So it might go. There was no. There's something else you said, sir. That there was an incident. There was no incident. It's all lies. There's no evidence to back it up. There's no police report. The school is there. Go there and ask if there was incident. School is there. It's an hospital. So if there was incident, at least people will still be on admission now. But go there and ask. So don't let anybody mislead you, especially at this time you are in. You are a father and a mentor to a lot of people. Nobody should mislead you and come and draw you and drag you, draw your reputation that you have built over the years. They just reduce it to nothing. And it's going to happen the way they are going.
My people, Edo people know they carry last say, another active voice will carry Obi matter for head. Come give hot warning to all the social media haters where they drag Obi up and down. This one go enter your bone. Make we listen.
Every hater of Peter Obi is an enemy of a better Nigeria. That is obvious. Because I can't believe I will still go to the social media and see some new tweets, some non-living things. Yes, if you are a hater of a better Nigeria, you hate Obi for just no reason. Obviously, you are a non-living thing. You are, in fact, how worse can you be? You are hating on a man for no reason. I won't believe I actually saw somebody. I actually saw someone criticizing Obi, and you won't believe what his excuses were. Say, why would he leave money in Anambra State? Having ruled, being a governor for 8 years, he left with a lot of savings, and somebody used this against him. Tell me some people are not just having maggot in their head in the name of brains. You are hating on a man who is but clean. A man who no stain has been traced to, apart from some mere propaganda, some mere allegation, most of which do come from Showore. Obi he's not a saint, but he's a savior. He's the cleanest we have at the moment. I'm not saying there are no other decent Nigerians, because I will always give kudos to his running mate during the 2023 presidential election, Dati Baba Ahmed. That's another credible Nigerian. See, there are a lot of Nigerians that I know that are clean and okay. But Peter Obi is just at the front. And somebody who claimed to be alive will be hating on Obi for no reason. Well, no matter how you see this man, he's still the only hope of a better Nigeria. He is. You are not going to tell me. See, how can you hate Obi and you love Tinubu? Obviously, if it was possible, you need a brain replacement. In fact, because your brain cannot be replaced, that has already made you a non-living thing. A non-living thing because you hate the betterment of Nigeria. If you supported Tinubu against Obi in 2023, maybe because you thought Tinubu has something to offer. Then now, after 2 years in office, things has gone from bad to worst, and you are still supporting him against Obi. This time is for a deliberate hatred, meaning your level of sentiment is beyond redemption. Then I dare to say you are a non-living thing. You are not even your position, your space in the human race is vacant. You don't even exist. How can you be hating on someone whose only offense was being clean, trying to be as clean as possible? And you think you are normal? Of course you are not normal, and you can't be normal. And if I have the powers, I would say may your soul rest in peace. I was Zuo. You'll be hating on a man that should be looking up to for a better tomorrow. Now Ramona continue. They also give an award.
Now to the next beggar. The Nigeria must go saga way scatter internet since last 2 weeks now. That guy will be Cyrus will release the video where cause all this wahala in brain on the research small. In talk say, in don't understand why Nigerians they jack by say if na him, in go run too.
Security. I'll be honest with you folks, if I were a Nigerian, I would leave the country by all means necessary for this one reason alone. When kidnapping becomes a regular occurrence and it's not particularly on the number one list of problems to solve or the government wants to solve and the national security apparatus is implicated in it, this becomes a dangerous condition to endure both for the rich and the poor. But unfortunately, that's what is happening there. When religious extremism is common and national security agencies are sitting aloof and the federal government is playing politics with it, ladies and gentlemen, that is a crisis. When you need to hire armed bodyguards and police motorcade as a successful man or woman to make your way around on a daily routine, that is problematic, ladies and gentlemen. When armed robbery is orchestrated with impunity and you don't see practical government plans of shutting it down, you should know you could be in danger at any point in time, whether on the road or at the comfort of your home. This is one of the reasons many Nigerian youth and businessmen are moving to Ghana.
But we dey ask am, after all the whole damage, businesses wey don collapse, people wey don almost kpai for inside, now you come dey realize yourself, now wow. Meanwhile, one Ghana historian don't break everything down well. That man give correct gist on how this Ghana-Niger palava take start. Since 1969, this history dey very hot and very rare. Now, only one place where I see am for internet, so I beg make una manage the video quality. But make una hear am well.
I explicitly explain everything that transpired when it comes to Ghana must go. So Nigeria must go. This is what actually happened. When history is being told, it must be told the right way. For we criticize the West for telling our history sadly for not explicitly explaining what transpired. This is what transpired in Nigeria must go. The entire Africa was one. When Kwame Nkrumah became the Prime Minister of Ghana, up to when he became president, he called on everyone who had money to come and invest in Ghana, that Ghana was open to the entire Africa and Ghana was open for business and they should come and invest. Nigerians, wealthy businessmen, were of 90% of the investors who moved to Ghana to invest. And the population of Nigerians in Ghana by then were up to 2 million Nigerians living in Ghana out of the 2.5 foreigners living in Ghana by then. But when Kwame Nkrumah was overthrown by Kotoka and the rest, then came Busia in power as Prime Minister. When Busia came, he was a staunch opposition to Kwame Nkrumah. He never liked Kwame Nkrumah and the policies. When he came, the very first thing he did was to dismantle Kwame Nkrumah's policy and brought in the Alien Compliance Order. When he brought in the Alien Compliance Order, this seek to sack every foreigner in Ghana, and he knew quite well that of all the foreigners in Ghana, Nigerians were 90% of them, and they were investors and businessmen. They invested in cocoa, invested in infrastructures, invested in all sorts of business, manufacturing, transportation, you name it. So when he passed this order and he gave them a deadline to leave, the Nigerians had no option but to auction all they had, because they were suppressed by the government. And by then Busia passed this law that no foreigner should be engaged in. About 40 businesses he put down that no foreigner should engage in. So the Nigerians had no option but to leave, and it was a bad time in history. Nigeria had to auction their cars, Nigeria had to auction their houses, Nigeria had to auction their businesses, their farm. Most were not even able to auction their businesses. They left it, and the indigenous Ghanaians took over their businesses, their cocoa farm. They lost their lives in custody, and as a result of this, it affected, traumatized the Nigerians. Just imagine you took huge amount of business and money to invest in Ghana, and even when you are leaving, the hard cash money, the money you were supposed to take, the banks refused to give Nigerians more than 2,000 pounds, and these people had hundreds of thousands of pounds in their account in Ghana. The banks refused to give money, and these Nigerians were in huge migration crisis. So as this happened, within that period they were auctioning things in Ghana. Life was good because Ghanaians were rushing, buying Nigerian product as cheap as possible. Everything came down. The moment a Nigerian left, life became hell for Ghanaians. The crisis Ghana faced, the hardship all the way to that of the farming period of Ghana started when Busia passed this Alien Compliance Law. The effect on Ghana when the Nigerians moved out, cocoa price fell Okay, and also Ghana lost cocoa production from 50% of global production to 30% because the Nigerians were the one doing cocoa farming. The prices of goods doubled because the Nigerians were the ones who made it possible for the prices to be cheap. And when the Ghanaians were left to do businesses, they wanted to be rich as quick as possible and double the prices. And also transportation became a problem because most of the cars were owned by Nigerians. Nigerians had invested in transportation system. So this was a problem. And loss of jobs because the businesses and factories and cocoa business, the farming were operated by Nigerians who had employed people. These people had left and jobs were lost. Okay, businesses collapsed. Ghana was in disarray. This was the start of Ghana problem that finally led to Ghana having famine. We would come to that for a latter part. What was the negative effect on Nigeria? Nigerians died. Yes, people who were in detention because the government held lots of Nigerians, and so some of them died in detention. What again? Nigerians lost houses, lost cars, lost businesses, money. The banks could not allow Nigerians to take more than 2,000 pounds from the bank because they didn't want this money to go. And these Nigerians had hundreds of thousands of pounds in their banks in Ghana. So this was a disaster. This was a problem. When the Nigerians returned, some were hoping to see back their loved one, but they had only to be greeted by the news that they had died in Ghana. This was a bad thing. Alien compliance law was what led to Ghana to fall in those periods until in the year 1985 when J.J. Rawlings went to Babangida to renew relations with Nigeria. That was when Ghana and Nigeria saw peace. Within this period, there was nothing like peace. So J.J. Rawlings moved to Babangida to make peace. But even when J.J. Rawlings moved to Nigeria, things were worse. Things were terrible for Ghana. Not until when President Kufuor became president of Ghana, year 2001, Kufuor moved to Nigeria, went to Nigeria and pleaded to the then president of Nigeria, Obasanjo, in the words of President Kufuor, not me, that Obasanjo is a gift to the African continent. Why did President Kufuor say this? Because when the economy of Ghana was in shambles, Ghana went epic, meaning there was no money in Ghana. When Ghana was scattered, when the ones you call foreign donors, development partners, America, the Britain, you name it, all countries rejected Ghana. Nobody was there to come to the aid of Ghana. But Nigeria, and President Kufuor ran to Nigeria and laid down to Obasanjo. He didn't feel Obasanjo would help to say that, okay, we will resume supply of gas to Ghana to supply electricity. When he went, Obasanjo surprised him. Obasanjo did not only ask Kufuor that they should resume gas supply to Ghana immediately, but also push the payments to almost 4 years back and also reduce the price for Ghana. And not only that, Obasanjo actually gave $30 million United States to Ghana to buy cars for the police. I know that money was rejected by Obasanjo in Nigeria because Nigerians were blasting him as the president of Nigeria. But it is true. He helped Ghana. He assembled investors to come to Ghana to invest in Ghana. That is how come the infrastructure of Ghana today, housing, is at its peak. They're one of the best in Africa because the Nigerians came with their wealth, with their money to invest in Ghana. And Ghana is where it is today. And I will tell you, Nigeria has done a lot for Ghana. This I know most Nigerians don't know. That is how come President Kufuor, who ended saying that Obasanjo is a gift to Africa, named from 37 roundabouts, 37 to that of Achimota Forest as Obasanjo Highway in Ghana. This is as a result of the tremendous effort and help aid from the people of Nigeria, from the government of Nigeria to Ghana to help boost Ghana's economy. This is history. We must not shy away from it. There is so much between Nigeria and Ghana. Why we must put asunder our fight. Why we must put asunder blaming one another. Let me tell you, one of the reasons is Nigeria and Ghana started fighting for AU together with Sierra Leone. Sierra Leone brought this fire to Nigeria, brought it to Ghana, boiled Nigerians and Ghanaians, Nkrumah inclusive, the ITA Wallace Johnson and the rest, that you should fight for your independence and let's form Africa Union, which is, by then it was Organization of Africa Unity. Nkrumah championed it in Nigeria. But the white man skillfully came to Nigeria and told them, do not allow Ghana to head AU. And they went to Ghana and told them, do not allow Nigeria to head AU. The reason being is they knew these two countries were a powerhouse in Africa.
My people, another active voice don't talk. Oh, this time a woman where her name be Lolone Kachimezie. She don't open eye say the hate against Igbo people no be ordinary. Say some people just clear their eye. They work very hard night and day to destroy Igbo people name. Make we listen as she talk.
I want to call the attention of Nigerians to a deadly group that has been with us for a very long time, but they've managed to operate under the guise of tribe that the rest of Nigerians has not been able to decode them. This group, I call them the gangsters and the mobsters. And these gangsters and the mobsters originated from the Yoruba land, Lagos State to be precise. And the founder of these gangsters and mobsters is our current president. President Ahmed Tinubu is the founder, sponsor, funder of this mob group. Just like our former president, President Muhammad Buhari, is one of the founders of Boko Haram. One of their sponsors, one of their funders, we all know. Our current president is also the founder and also the founder of this mob group. And their headquarters is in Lagos. They have been able to deceive Nigerians because they don't carry arms, but the weapon they carry is deadlier than arms. They are more deadly than Boko Haram. They are more deadly than militants. They are more deadly than any other deadly group you can mention. Their weapon, the greatest weapon of all, tongue. The smallest part of the body that can set the whole world on fire. Propaganda, lying. Most importantly, they hide under ethnic coloration, presenting themselves as protectors of the Yoruba land, causing mayhem, trying to sponsor another genocide. This group were part of those that sponsored the propaganda that caused the civil war. Young soldiers carried out a coup, which all parts of Nigeria were part of. All of a sudden, they gave it an ethnic coloration. Now, this time around, they've taken it far. They are not doing it just in Nigeria. They are sponsoring it all over Africa. And some countries are buying into it. But guess what? When they sponsored it in South Africa. We have proofs. We are on a group. A Yoruba person was telling South Africans that it is the Igbos. So they should carry xenophobia on Igbo people. But guess what? Both Igbos, Yorubas, and any other person in Igbo land, in Nigeria, and Nigerian citizen was also affected. They have been sponsoring this in Ghana. And may I let you know that Mrs. Abike Dabiri, she can start chasing me around, is also the spokesperson of this gangster. Now, in Nigeria, what they are trying to sponsor, they are sponsoring another genocide. They are looking for a loophole. Just like before the war. They were looking for a loophole. Now, they are just looking for one thing. But you know the way they behave. They think they are smart. They want all Africans to see Igbos as problematic, as cancer, as something they will remove. So that when they start it in Lagos. Now, I have an information to give. During genocide, people from Edo State, southeast, south were all killed. I want to call the attention of my Edo brothers, Calabar brothers, Calabari brothers, and all of you. To an average Yoruba man, we are all Igbo. To an average Hausa man, we are all Igbo. Just like to an average Igbo man, from Benue down is north, the Hausa. To an average Yoruba man, the whole north is Hausa. That's how they see us. But when they want to divide us with politics, they will bring the divider. They will now know that an Edo man is an Edo man. But when they want to cheat us or kill us, we'll all become Igbo. My warning is, the earlier, it's only a fool that something will happen to. It is raging, it is on. They are pushing it by all means, trying to provoke the Igbos. And I'm also calling on the interests of the Igbos to rise and unite yourself. They were able to succeed in the north because they caught us on the way. With all this noise, if they catch us on the way this time around, don't you think they will liken us to fools? These people are cowards, yes. They cannot challenge you to war. They will hide under federal might because their leader now is the president. Whatever they do, they go scot-free. We're here. When a tout was intimidated a whole tribe and said he will deal with anybody that doesn't vote a particular party. Nobody said anything. Baya Ononuga is one of the PAs to our president. We saw when he said Igbos will never allow to vote in Lagos again. Let me tell you, when they say Igbos will never be allowed, when an Edo man gets to the polling booth, that is when you will know you are an Igbo man. When a Clapper man gets to the polling booth, that is when you know you are a Clapper man. I am calling on the whole Nigerians and National Assembly. If there is another genocide against the Igbos, we will hold you responsible because you close your mouth on this. But I'm using this opportunity to call all South is living in Lagos. This is not a Yoruba affair. This is a monster and gangsters, but they are just like IPOP is in the east. IPOP is domiciled in the east. Boko Haram is domiciled in the north. Militant is domiciled in the south. This monster and gangsters is domiciled in Lagos. It's not an ethnic matter. And I'm calling on our Yoruba brothers to rise and condemn this before it gets out of hand.
E never end though, my people. One football story don't enter inside. Now about Chioma Okafor, we represent Niger for this WAFCON we just finished. She dey play for Malawi, but they reject them, and now they regret her.
No, it wasn't an easy decision. But I took a lot of time as well. Honestly, a couple of years thinking about it, and I just felt like it was time for me to not make the easy decision that I always tend to make. And I knew that with what I want to do with my career, I needed exposure. I needed to play against players that are far better than myself. And that's not to say that Malawian players are not far better than me, but I just wanted to be in an environment that was very competitive. And, that looked more appealing on the Nigerian side, given that they attend way more international competitions, World Cup, Olympics, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, with time, Malawi is going to get there. But again, time is always clicking,
And as Chioma name surface online, Nigerians begin drag Igbo people again online, say then they claim say Chioma na Igbo girl, but one active voice no agree in defend Igbo people. Sharp.
Chioma Okafor. This story of a Nigerian Malawian. Chioma Okafor was born in Malawi to a Malawian mother and a Nigerian father. She's a great soccer player to the extent that she played for the under-17 Malawian team. Now, she relocated to the United States, and when she was supposed to be called up for the Malawi female national team, the Scorchers, I think, people said they didn't want her because of her name. Because her name is Chioma, first name, and Okafor, surname. Both Nigerian, first name and surname. And the Malawians thought she wasn't Malawian enough to play for the Scorchers. And they never invited her. The same thing that happened to Chidinma Onwe Adeshina. because she was getting help because of her name. So Chioma was playing in the United States. The Malawian FA refused to call her to play for the Malawian female national team. And the Nigerian coach found out about her and decided to invite her over to play for the Super Falcons of Nigeria. She accepted. Now, after she accepted the Nigerian call-up, then the Malawian Football Federation wanted her to play for Malawi. Can you imagine that? After she accepted the Malawian call-up. Now, after she accepted Nigerian call-up. Now, if she had played for Malawi, number one, she might not have gotten anywhere in her career. Number two, they will never play in the World Cup, female World Cup. Number three, most likely she will never even play in the AFCON. So she accepted Nigeria's offer. She played for Nigeria. They won the WAFCON. And now she has been given $100,000 by the Nigerian president, which the Malawian will never give her. She has been given a 3-bedroom house in Abuja, which the Malawian government will not afford to give her anyway. And also, she has been given a title, a national honorary title in Nigeria. So what are we saying? Accept people, regardless of their origin, whether their name is Chidima, Chioma, Non-Kululeko, Non-Tubeko, whatever. If they're your citizens, they're your citizens. If they're your citizens, they're your citizens. Why is Africa so divided? Congratulations to Chidioma. Congratulations to Chioma Okafor. We love you,
Another
Nigeria.
bad news wey enter this week na that bill for Senate where one crown Ooni of Ife and Sultan of Sokoto as the head of all traditional rulers for Nigeria. Some group don dey vex say that thing e fit divide Nigeria.
Nigeria senators will use their hand to divide this country, Nigeria. I don't know if you understand. They will use their hand to divide this country. Well, calm down. Let me explain. Watch this video to end. Follow this page. Share it for others to see. Drop your comments at the comment section. Because the marginalization is too much. This bill, they allowed to pass second reading. The bill to choose Ooni of Ife and Sultan of Sokoto as the only traditional rulers to represent all the traditional rulers in Nigeria, or Gaza, it is calling for a total division. Because the marginalization of the Igbo tribe is very, very pragmatic. You cannot bring somebody like Ooni of Ife or Sultan of Sokoto to be monitoring our tradition. I don't even understand. To be part of our decision making. Because these people now will be at the helm of every affairs of traditional rulers in Nigeria. No Igbo man is included. Even Oba of Benin was not included. The people of South. Listen to me. This is the best time for all the Igbo traditional rulers, all the Ohaneze Ndi Igbo, the Pandef to come together. Come to a round table because you are not needed. I don't know if you understand. No Igbo man is appointed. And they said we are part of one Nigeria. They want us to remain with one Nigeria. When we say we want to be with them, they will start maltreating us. When we say we don't want to be with them, they will start eyeing us. What is our main crime in this country called Nigeria? Look at this kind of great appointment. A very big appointment. And your people are saying that Igbos and Nigeria, we will remain as one Nigeria. We are better together. Whereas you people doesn't want us to be part of you. My question is, what is Abio, the Senate president, doing? Did they bribe him or did they threaten him to shut his mouth? Because he's from South. Nobody from South is in that cycle. Nobody from Eastern region is in that cycle. This is the best time for all of us, all the Igbo traditional rulers, all the Ohaneze Ndi Igbo, Pandef, to unite. This is the best time for you to back Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, because this appointment is an infiltration into our traditional cycle. They will infiltrate. They will be part of the cabinet. They will have right to appoint some certain people that will be representing them in all the states in the country. I don't know if you understand. Open your eyes right now, because
finally,
enough
my
is
people,
enough.
even US don't enter Niger matter. Them no happy as our people, our government for Niger, they use money for enjoyment instead of investing in the citizens. One active voice will be me, no grio, she tear eye, talk through as it be.
It all started with a tweet, not just from anybody, but from the official handle of the US mission to Nigeria. They posted a story tagging it Transparency Tuesday and pointed fingers to one of Nigeria's deepest wounds, wasteful spending by the ruling class. Now, when a global diplomatic body starts tweeting about Nigeria's internal spending, that's not just foreign commentary, that is global accountability. It means the world is no longer watching silently. Then came the trigger, a troubling expose by the Africa Report. They revealed that while everyday Nigerians are told to tighten belts and endure economic hardship like labor pains, some state governors are signing off billions to build new luxury government houses, mansions they barely live in, like what you see up there. In the same country where over 133 million Nigerians are multidimensionally poor, these leaders are choosing marble floors over public service. That's not just shameful, that is immoral. But to understand how deep this problem runs, let's break it down with numbers. According to the 2016 World Bank estimate, government procurement in Nigeria, that is the money spent on contracts, public projects, takes between 10% to 25% of our GDP. Now, pause. What is GDP? GDP means gross domestic product. It is the total value of everything Nigeria produces in a year, like farming, oil trade, transport services, even a plate of jollof rice sold in the buka. It all counts. So think of Nigeria's economy as a big bag of rice. GDP is that bag of rice. Now the World Bank says that 10% to 25% of that bag of rice, sometimes up to a quarter, is spent on government contracts. This includes roads, schools, decks, hospital, whatever contract the government is doing. But the painful part is that a big chunk of that money disappears into shadow. There's no receipt, no competition, no explanation. That is what they mean when they said it is shrouded in opacity. So the real issue is not that Nigeria is broke. It is that the broth is stolen before it reaches the table. To make it clearer, let's say Nigeria earns like 100 trillion in a year. Government procurement could take over 10 to 25 trillion from that money. Now ask yourself, where does that money go to? Is it into schools, clinics, or someone's guest house? That is deliberate underdevelopment. That is inequality engineered. And that is why organizations like budgeting are raising alarms. They've said it clearly. There is more money, little accountability, and no priority. This isn't random noise. It is a voice of civil society. It's a voice of concern. So when global voices like the US mission Nigeria start calling this publicly, we should pay attention. That Twitter handle represents one of the most powerful embassies in Africa. They are backed by the United States, the country that has loaned Nigeria over 14 billion since the year 2000, according to World Bank report. But this is the irony, because these same countries loan us money, watch us waste it, and then hand us reports about how wasteful we are. So yes, the criticism is fair, but it's also a mirror. Nigeria must ask, who is enabling who? Because until we fix this, we will continue to suffer while others watch us burn and still lend us matchsticks. It's the truth at the time. Take care and
my
have
people,
a nice
it be like
day.
saying I here we go drop mine for today. If you enjoy this story today, I beg make you like, share, subscribe, and drop comment for inside comment section. We dey read all of them, we go reply. Until next time, now still me, your correct paddy for Voices of Vigilance. Make una stay safe and shine on a eye, yo.